The progression of the Holocaust could not have expanded the way it had without the help of proactive accomplices or sympathetic allies. With the help of collaborative states and regimes, Nazi Germany was able to both expand and efficiently evacuate and exterminate more Jews than ever thought possible. Through 3 levels of administration, the Nazis were able to implement different regulations across Western Europe, Scandinavia, and the Baltic states, depending on their willingness to accept and cooperate with a varying degree of success. However, all these states relatively come under the heading of bystanders, and by reflecting on the role of bystanders during the Holocaust, it was a program of mass extermination whose execution relied not only on the actions of perpetrators but also inaction by bystanders. As Ian Kushner famously wrote in the reference to the German perpetrators, bystanders, and the Holocaust, the road to Auschwitz was built by hate but paved by indifference. The Baltic states were one of the last areas to be invaded by Nazi Germany military. They mostly fall under the category of puppet states, and because throughout Greece, Serbia, and Croatia there was support to push out Jewish immigrants, as these states had a firm nationalistic stance. Greece was the final country to be invaded before the Nazis invaded the Soviet Union in June 1941. Greece remained nominally independent under a puppet regime. However, the German military occupied the city Sakala in the northeastern region of Greece. Sakala has been a major center of Jewish culture and was where, as Davidovich states, 55,000 of Greece's 76,000 pre-war Jews lived. The local Greeks had a nationalistic stance and welcomed the anti-Semitic laws introduced by the Nazi Germany regime. The brutality of Germany's occupation policies was unprecedented. A guerrilla war broke out against their German occupiers and vicious reprisals against German losses, which saw mass killings of civilians in retaliation. Normally independent, Croatia was governed by Ante Pavelić, the leader of the radically anti-Semitic and nationalist USR party. Croatia was a German puppet state that succeeded the Nazi expectations. Within the space of a few weeks, the Nazis had achieved in Croatia what had taken 7 months to implement in Poland. By November 1941, in all likelihood in line with the decision to implement the final solution, all remaining Jewish survivors, women, children, and elderly, were rounded up and transported to the town Semlin in Croatia, where they were gassed in stationary vans. By August 1942, Serbia was declared Jew-free. The Vatican, under the leadership of Pope Pius V, was one of the worst perpetrators and examples of bystanders in the Holocaust. Firstly, the power and the role of the Church could have played a pivotal role in spreading information about the crimes against humanity that were occurring in the East. However, the Vatican ignored numerous reports. By the end of 1942, the Vatican had received evidence of Jewish extermination carried out on an ongoing basis in no fewer than 9 countries. Secondly, as historian John Conway has pointed out, that the Vatican never wavered from its path regarding Palestine, even in the middle of the Holocaust, when the land offered Jews one of the last hopes to escape. Even when the failure of the Allies at the Bermuda Conference to deal specifically with the rescue of Jews at the height of the Holocaust doomed them. Lastly, the continuous choice to ignore reports even when priests, administrators, and in one instance an SS officer, Gersten, tried to report his first-hand experience of the death camps to Nico Ozadi, but he refused to see him. Therefore, Gersten turned to the auxiliary bishop of Berlin, who was part of a anti-Nazi clique. The bishop found Gersten's report entirely credible, as did others, as Protestant Bishop Otto de Billis. The Vatican, however, allowed Gersten's information about the Holocaust die. That is, it was not relayed to other countries, such as France, whose Jews had not been resettled yet. Pope Pius V's motives to hide information could be narrowed down to anti-Semitism, pro-German sentiments, fear of Soviet rule, communism, or a direct act as a neutral peacemaker. However, as Wachenset reported to Berlin, that hostility to Bolshevism, in fact, was the most stable component of Vatican foreign policy, and that the Anglo-American link with Soviet Russian is detested by the Holy See. The Pope's main concern was with the Soviets and how communism would affect the Church. Charles de Philippe-Timin filed a memo on November 23, 1942, reporting on mass extermination of Jews in occupied Poland by poisonous gas in chambers specially made for that purpose and by machine gun fire. The constant influx of evidence of genocide occurring on a continuous basis did not change the Pope's stance, and during his speech in December 1942, it contained 27 words about the Holocaust out of 26 pages of text, none stating any reports in which Jews were being exterminated. As historian Gerhard Weigand believes that the Pope Pius spoke out about the murder of the Jews, many more